Welcome to the Conscious Creators Podcast, where we explore the real science of manifestation. We'll take you from mind mastery to self mastery. We'll share the yogic wisdom and its relation to neuroscience. We'll also explore quantum science and its relation to meditation. It's going to be an exciting journey, so if you feel stuck or overwhelmed, this is the right place to be. Get ready to go from the internet to the conscious net because I believe this is going to be a mind bending journey and give you the possibility to unlock your full potential. Welcome again.
I think it will be helpful also for me to share, what I do, with my community too. So I love the questions because I'm not always sure what to talk about. So
Exactly.
the questions really ignite, the conversation. So
Right.
yeah.
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 So that's the whole purpose, like I said, of the podcast is to bring the community together of mostly focused on yoga teachers, life coaches, and energy healers.
Okay.
And the idea is to share our knowledge because everybody does healing in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that healing comes in a different forms, different modalities. So everybody is doing different stuff. So the more people get to hear and the stories of how, and then if somebody's on the fence of becoming a healer or doing
Yeah.
somebody wants to become a Reiki master or yoga teacher or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my whole effort about, plus I like to talk about the consciousness and, all that kind of stuff as well. Uh,
And it's great because the more language and the more
of,
you
yeah,
expose out there, the
yeah,
more people, it's brought up to bring into someone's consciousness to see, oh, that really resonates with me.
right.
So yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
bring those other options.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, so I've done a few of them. So basically, I still won't, I won't put out the raw stuff on there. I'm still going to send, as soon as we finish the recording, I'll send you the link. So
Okay.
you can listen to it. If there is some part that you are not comfortable with, you want to, my, my developer is trying to get hold of me. So, so, so that way you can, if there is any part that we want to edit, we can take it out as well, So it's nothing. And then we have a couple of weeks, we'll schedule it down the road, put in the line. And so I've just started dodoing that. And it's
Yeah.
a great way for me to get to know people also. And, it's been working
Raja,
better.
do you pronounce your name Raja?
Yes.
Where do you broadcast the podcasts?
Well, on YouTube.
Okay.
So I will put it on YouTube, and then I have just hired a marketing guy who would actually take that and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we will do some paid marketing for it as well. So it wouldn't be just the organic marketing, but it will be paid marketing as well. So that's basically the idea. And the more people that we connect, like your viewer, so I'll give you a link where your thing is, your people will also get to watch the stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can share the link with your people that here's something that you can watch, and I will market it on the pay per click, So we'll set out a separate budget for this, and we'll market that out there. And the whole idea is to bring the subscribers, more people to watch that. Hopefully they'll subscribe. We'll try to create a community out of it. Different people.
Sure. Is it anything that I have to pay for?
Oh, absolutely nothing. No.
Okay. Because I kind of got tricked one time a couple of years ago, and I ended up paying. It was a learning experience, I'll just say. So I wanted to just ask that question.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Tell me that trick, how they tricked you. Maybe I'll have to use that.
Don't use that.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's, I am really a believer in what's mine is coming to me. I don't have to, go through. There is so much out there, and that is one thing that I want to share with the people as well, that there is a shift happening,
Mhm.
and that shift is not right now, after COVID. The market is stuck right now. And I have a coach, I have a marketing coach, and I learned this from him at that time. This was a few months ago. He explained to me that all our clients, prospective clients, they are at a certain level, right? So we have to raise their awareness, but at the same time, the market as a whole has to shift.
Mhm.
And the shift is happening right now because there is so many fake experts out there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
many people who are promising, oh, I'll get you. I'll spend, oh, I don't even want to know how much money I'll spend. Or
Yeah.
just like you got tricked,
Yeah.
I spend, the biggest one I spent was, uh, I paid $15,000 for a coaching program. That did not give me anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just such a fake thing.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
I've actually, this has come to my awareness just recently of how many people are giving really bad advice, and that they're not truly coaches. They're not truly what they say they are. And their focus is to get the money,
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
to me, it's hard for me to imagine that, because that's not me. So I'm just seeing it, now, and other people talking about it too. And the prices that people are charging are outrageous. And it doesn't make sense, really.
Yeah, and
Uh,
the whole market is messed up because of this high prices and all that stuff. It has killed, it was like a golden goose, this education industry, what we call, personal
mhm.
growth industry is a golden goose, but people try to get like the eggs right all at one time, they kill the goose. So that
Yeah.
has happened. I've spent, believe it or not, if I were to look back, uh, at least 65, $70,000 easily
Mhm. Mhm.
into these courses. And out of that, one, I would say the coach I had, he guaranteed the money back, but I never went back to get my money, even though I never got any results. But I know what he was telling was the right thing, and I wasn't doing that right thing.
Mm,
And
mm,
that's why I didn't go back, ask for the money back, because I know I got my value. I learned a lot of things. I learned about the marketing, the science, the algorithm of how the human mind thinks and all that. But that's not me. It just does not resonate with me to go
yeah.
and swindle somebody into doing something.
No, me neither.
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
I found that reaching out to people one on one, creating like a audience of people that, and I think my next move, I would like to create a mastermind group,
Mhm.
where all experts can come together and we can talk about the industry as a whole.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you briefly about, I'd like to talk about this on the podcast, but I'll tell you briefly. My driving passion is because in Corona, uh, my daughter got, not, she didn't get Corona, but she lost her job and the whole life changed for her.
Yeah.
And she fell into addiction and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And that is my driving force to get her out of that.
Mhm.
I know she needs a lot of healing, a lot of energy healing, a lot of different stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm struggling with that. And at that time I realized that we went from pandemic to an epidemic of fear and depression and all that. I mean, there is so much out there that people really need help.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I see
Yeah.
it every day. Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then I mean, I saw you and I said, wow, what a great energy. I mean, just you have that energy that you share that, oh, I loved your son. Is that your son? His name? What was it? I wrote it down.
Logan is one of my sons and Xander is the other one.
Xander. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what does that name Xander mean?
Xander comes from the name Alexander. So it's
Oh,
short,
wow. Okay.
yeah, it's short for Alexander and it means leader of man.
Wow.
So like a warrior, essentially.
Warrior.
Yeah.
So you do this. Yours was like a galactic. That was that yours? You do DNA activation.
Oh,
What kind of
yeah.
work do
Yeah.
you?
That's just one of the things that I do.
Okay.
DNA activation. So I'll tell you a short story about how this even came into being. First of all, I have no background at all in Hinduism
Uh-huh.
or Sanskrit or anything. I was raised Catholic. I'm not bound to my religion at all. I'm spiritual. I had a rather good upbringing through my Catholic church because we were not very strong rule followers, I guess. It was just,
Right.
nice environment, but I have no background in any other religion. So when I was in meditation one day, I was trying to create a class to teach other people who wanted to become energy healers. And in meditation, Spirit came to me and told me very loudly, teach them the ancient ways of Padma. And I had no idea what that was because I'd never heard of that word. But in my consciousness, I knew that that meant the sacred lotus. And I looked up what does Padma mean, and it says in Sanskrit, the lotus. I knew there was something huge there. So
Uh-huh.
that happened about 3 years ago. And I do have a Hindu aspect, a past life as a Hindu deity as well.
Uh-huh.
And I have aligned with that aspect of myself rather strongly. And that's where the Padma energy actually comes from, is that Hindu aspect of myself is the holder of that sacred lotus energy. And so, over months, every once in a while, I would get an upgrade where I was shown into the energy of Padma, into the energy of the sacred lotus. And it was the energy of creation, of the DNA strands, of where everything is made from the God consciousness.
Uh-huh.
And part of my energetic is part of that creation energy.
Okay.
And so the energy of Padma, I'm able to actually, I've seen the different codes come in very strongly in
Uh-huh.
different numbers and different chemicals, like the DNA strands are being restructured. And we need that DNA restructuring right now because the energy of the consciousness of the earth, the energy, the vibration, the dimensional shifts on earth are upgrading, and so does our DNA strands. We need that upgrade for that higher level of consciousness. And it's a huge activation that goes all the way from the core, the root chakra, the Shakti energy, all
Uh-huh.
the way up through our crown, the Shiva energy. So this is a huge activation through the body. I was given a specific pattern for people to look at for this activation to come into them and be created within them. So that's my Sacred Lotus activation class. And the galactic community, which I'm very strongly connected to and
Uh-huh.
communicate daily, they keep telling me, keep bringing it forward, keep bringing it forward. It is so, so, so important, they say, to bring the sacred lotus energy forward. And they keep telling me over and over again. And right now, there's not many people that are interested, but that doesn't matter. They keep saying, this is one of my biggest destinies on this earth plane, is to bring the sacred lotus energy forward, and people will come. So I'm trusting in that process. I'm doing what I'm being shown to do.
Right.
And yeah, that is part of the sacred lotus energy, the DNA activations.
So you've been to well, I mean, we are making the podcast right here, I guess. So, you've been to Indonesia, or I've seen some pictures of yours?
Yeah, my partner lives in Indonesia,
Uh-huh.
and I've been there once in 2020, and then the
Okay.
pandemic happened. So I didn't go there for 3 more years, and I was there last year in February. And so I went to Java Island, Bali, and Lombok. I do have some missions there, with an orphanage and some sacred work on the land. And I'm going there again in a month. And I've been guided to get yoga teacher training certification while in Bali, because I can really feel the energy of different asanas, of different poses. It's almost like a sacred geometry inside of us. And when
Uh-huh.
you get into a certain energetic position, it can open up an energetic within you. And oftentimes, sometimes I'm in downward facing dog and I just go into a meditation,
Right.
like just completely, I can't move. So
Right.
I wonder if that will happen in my class. I don't know.
Well, you are ready actually. So it will come to you easy and natural. It will flow through you, right? So now the challenge, what happens is like we want to bring it out. We are anxious to bring it out, right? Now, there are people who are ready to absorb what you are giving. Okay.
Yeah.
But then that is only 10% of the market. The 90% of the market is still not ready. So that's one of the purpose for us having these conversations, is that we need to educate this 90% of the market to bring them that, okay, the reason you are struggling here is because you need to learn this or you need to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's not going to come through the prescribed drugs, what I call the medicines, right? It's or microdosing, or even when you talk about taking ayahuasca or the mushrooms or whatever stuff, that yes, it helps you raise your consciousness, but it's like drunk driving.
Mm-hmm.
When you are driving drunk, you are able to have fun, but you are not in control of the vehicle.
And I was shown and told very strongly by the galactic community that those uses like ayahuasca, you can reach a different consciousness, but it is not necessarily a higher consciousness because it's not in pure form.
Right, exactly. So for the pure form, you are supposed to use your body and your mind. We call this the mind, but that's the brain actually. So the brain and the body, you use that as that's where I call it the technology of consciousness. The yoga actually, so I have developed a program called Manas Yoga. Maybe that's what you need certification for. So to take that in the next level, and I'll work with you on that. I'll like talk about that some other time, but that is the next level of yoga, because in the Western world we are so focused on yoga. I have actually some videos I'll share with you where uh, the you know what, I tell you what, I'll let us set up a time after the podcast. I'll set maybe early part of New Year's, whenever I have time. I will give you a couple of hours worth of yoga learning, what is yoga and what is real yoga. Okay, so what you hear and see here is not the real stuff. What
Yeah.
you need, what the yoga that you are talking about and what you need is different,
Yeah.
because you are working with the subtle energies. You're not
Yeah.
working with the physical energy.
Right.
You're working with the subtle energy.
And I do have an understanding that Western yoga has become very different than the root.
Yeah.
And so part of my mission is to return to the root. And
Yeah.
I have just a very deep feeling in myself where it's almost nothing that I need to read, because I can feel yoga in me. I can
Right.
feel
Right.
vibration of the energy and of the purpose of
Right.
yoga within me. And my cousin's husband, he actually grew up in India. He went to an ashram for all of his childhood, and he told me, be careful where you take the lessons from, because this is a lot of yoga is not real yoga here. So and,
It's
yeah,
West. It's all about the dollars.
yeah, it is. So I'm feeling good. I felt out the yoga studio. The yoga place that I'm going to in Bali has direct roots in India, but they wanted to develop another school in Bali. So I really used my heart to feel where I should go,
Yeah.
for the best, most pure root-based instruction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, you might not even have to go somewhere, because I think, I think after I get done with you for 2 hours, you will realize that you already said the answer is already within you. You
Yeah.
already have the answers. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you need yoga is, you need the science of yoga to connect with the DNA stuff that you are working with. You need to infuse both of this together,
Mm-hmm.
because your prospective following is going to need to have this understanding of this is what you are going to grow through.
Mm-hmm.
So you are pregnant with that thought right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, baby is just in your head, in your body, it is just taking form right now. So it is related to yoga, but it has to connect with the DNA and the galactic stuff that so you have to have a clear, like, Sigmund Freud said, we already know everything, we just need to be reminded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the answers are, you are the answers are within you.
Mm-hmm.
So while we have these conversations, somewhere along the line, you'll have that aha moment, and oh, yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's how it is going to come. And what we
Yeah.
call in the Western world, what we call the synchronicities.
Yeah. And so no, I'm really excited to see how this will blend together for me, because I know that there'll be a coming together of my natural abilities for healing and my passion to go into the yoga, and they're going to merge together, and everything will make sense at a certain moment. But as you're talking about merging the DNA and the energy into yoga, the first pose that came to me was like this Shakti goddess pose, down,
Uh-huh.
squatting. And so because all that DNA strands, they come from the Shakti, they come
Right,
from
right.
the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just
So
rises to us.
yeah, so somewhere, like Shakti is a form of the creation, like the Padma, you get deeper into this understanding of the symbolism of the Padma, right? The
Mm-hmm.
lotus. Lotus is the only flower actually that grows in out of the water, and it is connected. It grows only in featured. What is the word I'm looking for? I sometimes lose myself in these translations. Uh,
Okay. Like muddy water.
yeah, muddy
Mud.
water, right? But it always, so in Gita, in Mahabharata and Gita, Krishna talks about it, that your life has to be like lotus. You are born in the world, but you are not supposed to be uh, like you are in the water,
Yeah.
like a boat in the water. The boat can be in the water, but the water cannot be in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it will drown.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing with the world. We can be of the world, but not in the world.
Right. And
So,
I feel when you talk about this, that this is part of the self-realization energy that comes with the rising of the lotus, the DNA strands, the Padma energy, because they also said, the galactic community has told me, that self-realization energy is part of the lotus energy. And so that makes sense because we are meant to be illuminated,
Right.
to have our vision, have our perception, have our awareness open. So we can't have that in the mud. We have to let go and rise.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
See, you
Yeah.
are for you, it will come naturally. You are there. You have that glow. That what we call. I mean, if somebody comes in, you will spread that energy. So what you have to understand a little bit about the energy of how you are doing it. Have you heard about Shaktipat?
No.
So it's spelled Shaktipat, Shaktipat.
Okay.
Maybe you can Google that word, So you will have that. So you have the powers to do that. It's like an initiation.
Oh, okay.
But that initiation has to be done by a leader. So you have the powers. That power you need to learn how to use that power. So for example, you take laser, right? The laser, if you put it everywhere, it's not going to, but if you put the laser in one spot, it's going to create a hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. So your energies right now, you need to learn, bring that energy. A lot of it has to do with yoga. A lot of it has to do with the breath work and the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
So all that understanding and clear understanding of that part of it. Now, this is still the physical form, right? So you have physical form, the energy form, which is outside of you. So that if you look at the Stanford University talks about us having our aura is 12 feet wide. Sometimes yours probably is bigger or wider because you have that energy that you are projecting. So that whole energy, it's coming not only from your body and mind. Most people get stuck in the brain. The brain, the thoughts will project that energy. But yours, because you have already found your connection, and so that Padma, if you really look at it, when you do meditation, you will see in the heart region, you will see that Padma, the lotus, and that energy that's shooting out of that.
I've seen it. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen it there.
Yeah.
Just this morning, in fact. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so what you need to learn, some tricks and meditation, the yoga part of it, the meditation part of it, is to use that energy to bring it back, right? And then when you trigger that energy, some teachers in India, like the gurus, will touch you here. And all of a sudden, you are transmuting that energy to that recipient. So you are the projector and but the recipient has to be ready to receive that. Because otherwise if they're not ready, it will do damage to them. It's because your energy is that powerful. It's like putting a plug in a wrong socket. All of a sudden.
Well, I've seen this process, because I do very powerful activations on people, and it's like a laser. It is
Right.
literally laser surgery, I call it.
Yeah.
And when a person receives this very powerful focused light, it suddenly shifts their energy field and brings out the density that's stuck inside of it. So when it brings out the density, a person can have sudden emotions that start coming up, whether it's sadness, anger, grief. And so I teach people to allow the feeling, because it's actually leaving the body because of the light they've received. They've received their light. So they breathe and let go and let it transmute out. But some people, they get stuck in the victim mode. Like, this is happening to me. This is, they're not allowing and breathing and letting go. They're getting caught in the storm that has come up. So
Yeah,
yes.
my daughter's there right now. Yeah. I
Yeah,
need, yeah, I need her to connect her to you, you know.
I would love to help her because where I started doing healing really is I was working in nursing for 15 years first. And then I wanted to do, deeper healing in psychology. So I got my degree in psychology. When I was in school for psychology, I had a strong focus on anxiety, depression, and trauma. And I
Uh-huh.
did a lot of scholarly based research on, everything from environment to chemicals into the body to different methodologies for healing the different emotions and different therapies. I studied it all. And and then at the end of my 8 years, I was introduced to energy healing.
Ah,
And then I knew it's like that's when the light, Raja, that's when the light bulb turned on for me, is when my teacher put a student on the table and said, uh, watch this. And she held up a pendulum and
uh-huh.
held over his chakras and it started spinning. And at that moment, that's when I knew that that is the key to the deepest level healing, the deepest level possible.
Right,
There is the known within the unknown. There is the healing, there is the key right there within the unknown. And
right.
that's the thing I started exploring, which led me to shaman healing, to Reiki at first, but then I quickly progressed to shaman healing, then to quantum healing, and I work with the galactic energy. And it's just keeps building.
Yeah, the journey is, well, the journey will, well, actually, your journey is just beginning because once you start serving, and the hordes of people, and I think uh, you are on the right path and you are not on the path, but you are already there, so it's just a matter of now the universe will bring you, the doors are open, so the universe will bring you step by step. Maybe our connection was just for you to understand that the yoga that you need to learn is the deeper, the other side of yoga. That's
Oh,
not that's
yeah.
that more. I'll spend a couple of hours with you, and I'll explain to you what actual, the purpose of yoga is. See, yoga is just one of the 8 schools of thought. So yoga is a school of thought to reach the consciousness, to understand consciousness. But that's only one of them. The Vedanta, there is so many other Mimamsa, there is 8 different, uh, I'll have to look up my book. I've written about 4, 5 books, I think. One of them has all this, I'll explain the 8 schools of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So in that school, yoga is just one of them. But there are other ways to reach the higher levels of consciousness as well, with education and with meditation, mostly with meditation. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, meditation becomes a part of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably where you would want to spend most of your time learning the meditation and the yoga part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think you're talking right about the what you are experiencing, like in that Padma position or
Mm-hmm.
any asana, any particular asana that you do. But those things can also be activated with the mudras and the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mantras.
This is
So
something I don't know much about, but
yeah,
I know there's a lot of energy in mudras. I just don't know a lot of them.
yeah, yeah.
And what really fascinates me is the Indian style dances with the different mudras and dances
Oh, the Bharatnatyam. Yeah.
is phenomenal. And I would love to learn. Oh my God, that would be just amazing. I can feel so much energy in like the Shiva dance and the Shakti dance
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
the
That,
different dances with the gamelan, I think it's
uh,
called the gamelan instrument.
uh,
It's a Javanese instrument. It's mostly played in Bali. It's a very
oh,
old
okay.
bell instrument.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking whether I'm going to India next week. No, on the 7th.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be there for 3 weeks. Uh, but I wanted to see if I go to Bali or something. My daughter might be. Uh, I should send her down there. That might
Mhm.
be. When are you planning to go there next?
I'm going to Bali. Excuse me. All of February is my yoga classes. Hmm.
Okay, okay. Oh, so you have signed up for like a teacher training or something?
Yep, I have.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. All right. So let's set up a time for upcoming days. I think it will be a good match for us to talk about this stuff all over again and you
Yeah,
know and maybe we'll take some of these parts and make it a part of our podcast and
wonderful.
talk about.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll have my team connect with you, set up a time for it's 1 hour, 1 hour of talking. Around this time would be perfect. Nine.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All
Works
right.
for me. Thanks so much, Raja.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll send you the record of this link to this recording. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Into another enlightening episode of the Conscious Creators podcast. We hope you found inspiration and insights that will empower your life journey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this podcast to help spread the wisdom so it can reach more seekers of truth and transformation. Your engagement really fuels us. Stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and download our app or join our thriving community. Remember, between where you are and where you want to be, the only thing that comes in the way is your mind. It's all about going from mind mastery to self mastery. Until next time, namaste.